Today is a day I've been waiting well, actually 11/7 is the day I'm really been waiting for a year, but it is a close second. We are talking to Sarah Drew, the star of my absolute favorite Hallmark show, almost maybe ever. This is a bold statement. Mistletoe Murders. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you again.
I so appreciate how you just went above and beyond and look absolutely stunning just for the podcast
Just
interview
for the
today. I,
podcast.
I know that's the reason why you did it, and I
It's
appreciate.
been a long press day. I was up at 4:45 this morning, so
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. You still look absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you have any more to go, but
this is my
you look good.
last one. I
Okay,
get to take a breather. Yeah.
good for you. Good for you. Well, the last time we talked, I had not got to see the ending yet, but you sort of hinted, well, you didn't hint, you told me what the ending was with that just killer line by Peter, well, Sam, where, Emily, I have one question for you. You told me it was coming, and yet I still had chills. It still just blew me away. So you had to know, even though you weren't admitting it, you had to know season two was complete lock because that is just too good of
Well,
a.
I mean, the thing is, you never know anything in this industry. So we had no idea how it would perform. We didn't know if people would latch onto it. Um, but of course, you're going to leave with a giant cliffhanger, hoping that you have somewhere to go.
So you're saying Hallmark left the door open that potentially that it could have ended
Oh
with
yeah.
that
Oh, it happens all the
cliffhanger?
time. That happens
Okay,
everywhere
there's
on
enough
every show.
there's enough riots with Mystery 101. This would have literally had riots in their new I think they moved to Burbank, right? I would have been in a car driving there. No way. No way. That was too big. All right.
Well,
Well,
if you think the cliffhanger of season one is a lot, wait till the season two cliffhanger. Pretty
well,
great.
as we were talking before, Hallmark, I would say generously gave me screeners, so I've got to see the first three, but where I say sort of generously, they didn't give me the last three, so I am just dying to know what happens. But before we get into Mistletoe, you did the cruise last year and you're doing it again this year, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
what was that experience like? Because you're an actor and you're used to playing characters, but on the cruise, you're Sarah Drew, right? Now, I don't know how, I'm assuming you're authentic. I've heard very nice things about you, by the way, behind your back from some of the people I've talked
That's
to. So,
nice.
yes. But so what was it like though? Just A, being on a cruise with all these people, and then B, sort of being yourself in front of all these
Yeah.
people.
I mean, it's an interesting thing because I talk to my kids about it a lot that there's Sarah the mom at home, there's Sarah the friend, there's Sarah the wife, there's Sarah the actress, like who the characters I'm playing and also the person I am when I'm on set and keeping helping to keep things rolling and moving forward. And then there's the Sarah that does press, Sarah that walks a red carpet, Sarah that is meeting fans. It's all like different colors and pieces of who I am. So the piece of me that shows up on that cruise is a very big and hopefully as generous as I can be. The fans, the Hallmark fans are extremely passionate. Just like the Grey's Anatomy fans are extremely passionate. So I've done conventions before where I've had these fan encounters, and that people have paid money to be there and they're so excited to see you, and they're all there of their mutual love for this network, for this community. And so you want to make sure that they feel that they're getting their money's worth and that you're really offering as much of yourself as you can to them. So it's a beautiful kind of exchange of energy. It requires a huge amount of energy to kind of pour out in that way. But there's also I'm receiving this incredible energy and love from the fans that feels like epic. I mean, we were all laughing and talking about it after the first cruise, just about like the high that you get from walking out onto the ship. To On that cruise it was 2,500 fans, on this one it'll be 4 or 5,000.
Oh my.
So just the energy of, we're so excited to see you. We love these movies. You feel like, whoa, this is so much. And then of course you go home and your kids yell at you for like making the sandwich wrong. So it's a very beautiful experience of the dichotomy of my life, of my lived
But
experience.
it seems like you have to be on, like you're saying, the different parts of you and the press of you,
Yeah.
where you have to
Oh
be
yeah.
on. There has to be, and
There's
not in a
no
bad way, but exhaustion, right?
Oh, it's yeah, but the funny because the energy that you're receiving from the audience is so epic, I would go back to my cabin. I'd have like 8 minutes to spare between events, and I'd go and I'd like just stare at the walls for a second and sit down, and I'd be like, "There's no way I can go back out there. There's no way I could do anything. I can't do anything else. I'm completely depleted." And I'm like, "Well, I have to go." And then as soon as you get out there, it's like whoop, it's like your battery just goes right back up because you're just fed by that audience reaction, and you could go all night if you needed to. It's but then the crash is no joke at the end of the
I
cruise. The
imagine.
crash is so intense.
Now, if you were now, I'm sure you're doing this, you love the fans and give back and all that, but it's still a gig. Are you a person who would be taking the fam on a cruise, or is this kind of like, all right, I'm getting paid, so I'll go on this big old cruise ship?
I like the idea of a cruise, but because I'm recognizable and you you are on a boat that you can't escape from,
Okay,
it I think would be a very difficult experience for us as a family to go on a cruise because as soon as I start to get recognized, it's like going to the airport. As soon as somebody comes up and takes a picture, then other people start noticing, and then other people, so it winds up being um, I think kind of challenging
I imagine.
if you're there without working and having security and doing all of that stuff. So yeah, I've done a couple cruises and I really enjoyed them when I was younger and before I had any sort of notoriety. And I had a blast, but yeah, I don't think at this stage in my life it makes a lot of sense.
One of the people I've met, just the fans through this whole experience, Helen, is going on the cruise as well. And I was like, I hope you have fun, but for me, the idea of being on the big old cruise just seems like torture. I've done river cruises, which are small, 100
Yeah,
people, and I like those. But for me personally, like cruise, just
not
like
your thing.
whatever, 5,000 of your best friends kind of thing, just whatever.
You
But
know what though? This one is so sweet too. It's like because everybody that's on the ship is there because they are crazy for Christmas. They love Christmas. And they're crazy for Hallmark, love Hallmark. And they're also just like the kindest, sweetest humans ever. And so people put stockings outside on their doors and they go at night and give each other little gifts in their stockings. Random strangers just down the hallways. You wake up in the morning and you have little gifts in your stockings from other people on the ship. There's such sweet little moments like that where you just I don't know, I think there's something it's like summer camp for grown-ups is kind of what it
okay.
feels like.
Is it kind of the same group of people going for from the
For
Hallmark?
this one, we just found out that 1,000 of the guests are returning.
No,
So
I
they
meant
are,
from the Hallmark peeps.
oh yeah, but it's twice as many of us. So
Okay.
yeah, a lot of the same people that were on the first two cruises. And then we also have Jenna Claire Mason, who is joining this year, who's an incredible Broadway singer. So we're doing a variety show this year, which is going to be really fun.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. On Instagram, you've been posting. I think that you said you can't go do a cruise, but you just got back from doing like a trip to Ireland. Is
Yeah,
that
well, I was
true?
working. Yes.
Oh, you were working.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I was
I
gonna
was
ask.
working, but I got to extend. So I just finished a movie about Jimmy Stewart, where I play Hedda Hopper, who's this iconic gossip columnist from the 40s. And it was so much fun. But I was there for 2 weeks at the beginning of September shooting, and then I was home for 3 weeks, and then I went back to do my last couple days on the movie. And I was able to bring my husband with me for my second trip, and we
Okay.
extended our trip. So we went early and went to Galway for a few nights and then we came back. We went and I shot my last few days on the movie and then we went to Dublin for a few nights. So we made a little trip of it. It was fun.
Well, my wife asked me, I've got my 60th coming up in a couple years, and she's like, we should go do a trip. And so that's what I picked was the UK, but not the London, but the rest of it. And so we're going to go to Ireland for sure. So what's the one thing that I just have to do when I go there?
I was really blown away by the Cliffs of Moher. I just there's something so majestic about those cliffs and the way the wind kicks up and the way the sky also just driving around Ireland, rent a car and drive yourself all around it.
Seriously? We were
Oh,
talking about
I
like think we would die because
so
you're on the other
beautiful.
side and the
Yeah,
car
you'll
like
figure it
everything's
out.
whacked.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. The roads are narrow, but it's just so green and so beautiful. You've never seen anything like it. So I would just stare out the window. I will say it was more stressful for my husband who is driving. That is for sure. It's stressful to drive, but it's so beautiful.
Okay.
Galway is a really cool city, a lot of live music and yeah, just felt very, very, very alive. Dublin was really cool too. Um, but there's like over in West Cork, which is where I was shooting, there's a lot of just the natural beauty surrounding. So all these little spots to go and explore just natural caves and little waterfalls and cliffs and things like that. So don't just go to the castles. Go look at the beautiful nature.
The other thing I noticed on your Instagram is you seem to post a lot about you and books. I'm guessing you're an avid reader. So, what is a book or a series that you would just recommend for our followers? Say, this one you gotta go with.
I love romantasy and I love fantasy and I just really got on that kick probably uh, last November, I want to say. So I've been reading a lot in that genre, but my favorite series so far has been a series by Robin Hobb. Robin's whole world is absolutely, and it's pure fantasy. It's not romantasy. Oh, there's some romance in it, but it's mostly fantasy. But the characters are so incredibly rich, and the world building is so amazing. So yeah, I forgot what the first. I just read the second trilogy called the Live Ship Trader trilogy, and the first one I can't remember what it's called. But if you look up Robin Hobb, I think they're 12. I think they're four different trilogies, and I'm on the third trilogy right now. I just started the third one.
Okay, there you go. I'll put it into my Audible and then I'll give it a go.
It's
I've
it's
never done
really
fantasy, so
it is the character I mean it is fantasy, obviously there's magic and things like that, but the characters are so rich and so human and so honest, and you feel like you're really rooting for the good guys. The villains are so awful, um but you're the heroes are not one note. They're complicated, really complicated, and you can see yourself in everybody. I just and it's just written in such a rich way. You're really witnessing the whole world kind of play out in your imagination. I'm such a big fan. I'm gonna be so sad when the series is over.
well, talking about writing, I've noticed that you have written a few couple rom-coms yourself.
Yep.
Reindeer Games, Homecoming, A Cowboy Christmas Romance, and Carpenter's Christmas Romance. So from there, like from writing, what is that like taught you about your acting? And then as far as being an acting, what has now going through that whole process of being a writer taught you about acting?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's honestly the acting has informed so much more of the writing for me, because I've spent so many years kind of parsing out a journey through a scene and what makes something really fun to play. Why is this scene included in the script? What are we trying to accomplish? What are we trying to do here? And I approach every scene that I shoot as an actor with that sort of drive. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why is this scene here? What am I trying? What is supposed to be happening between me and this other person? And so, if I'm finding myself writing a scene and it's just sort of clunking along, and nothing is active in it, I'm like, well, we don't need this scene. This is not a scene that's useful. So let me find another way, or pack this scene with more of a punch, or it's starting to meander. How do I consolidate what I need to say so that it's active all the way through and you really can take a journey. And so writing has been really fun because I get to play out the kinds of scenes I want to play as an actor, the kinds that feel satisfying and exciting. So yeah, I think in that way, it's really my acting that's more informed my writing.
Gotcha. So, what's a little funny side note is Ken Kubrist, the writer of Mistletoe Murders. I had mentioned that I'm just for fun trying to write a script, and it's a time warp one, and this and the other. And he's like, "Send me your outline, and I'll like look over." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like Ken, whatever. And it was really awesome. First, I found out that it was really easy to write Act One and the final act. But
Yep.
then filling in all that middle, and like you said, making those interesting and making it have purpose was really, really, really hard, even in
Oh
just the
yeah.
outline. And so I worked on it and worked on it, and I finally sent it to him. There was all 9 acts and everything like that. And very polite, but he basically said, "You're doing something way too hard with time warps and time travel and this, that, and the other. Just write a simple rom-com just to have done it." But it was
Yeah.
like so fascinating listening to his mind and how his mind worked through the whole process. And the funny thing was I forget what we call it, like an end out or whatever, like when the
Act out. Yeah.
act out. Like I thought mine were so good. And he's like, "Your act outs are really weak." I'm like, okay.
Oh
He
wow.
does not, it's funny, he does not worry
Doesn't mince
about like your
words.
feelings. I shouldn't say you worry about your feelings. He's very direct and
Yeah, I
honest.
love that.
And
I
I
love that about
appreciated it,
him.
but I was like, wow. Here I was thinking that was like the best part of what I wrote, and it turned out it was the worst part. But it was
Yeah,
really good
I
advice that he gave.
I also think, I mean, he's just a genius. The number of mysteries that he has in his brain at any given time, because he's writing for the both of the podcasts, both Mistletoe Murders and the spinoff
Middlebury.
that follows Violet, and then he's also writing the show. So there's so many mysteries that he has in his head at any given time, and you can't find a plot hole in any of them. Like they're always, you never really guess who done it. He takes us on a really fun journey, and also has like a character development that makes you really like love and care about these characters. So I just think he's kind of a genius, and I feel so privileged to get to do this show with him, because it's I think mystery is also one of the hardest genres to write, because
Yeah.
you're holding so many different things. You can't just tell one through line about two people falling in love and what you have to, you're doing so many things at once, and it's got to be good. You got to tease just enough so that people are still engaged. You can't guess it too soon. You have to throw in enough red herrings that people really start to think that's who it might be. It's complex. His brain is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah. I started with trying to go the mystery route, and that's exactly what I realized. I'm like, that's not for the novice because, like you said, all those red herrings, you have to make it all believable, plausible, and push
Yep.
it. And I was like, this is way too hard for someone who's literally just a hack trying to put it together. So that's when
Yeah.
I switched over to the rom com. And now I realize I have to switch over to just the generic rom com. I will pay you one compliment though about your writing. All of your IMDb's for all 3 movies have pretty darn solid scores. So you're
Oh,
doing a good job with
nice.
writing it too. So it's not like you're like, oh, I'm an actor who I'll write one and popping out like the 3.4 IMDb. They're all like 6.5 and above, which is for the genre pretty darn good.
Thank
All
you.
right. I cannot hold off talking about Fletcher Grove. Now we got to do some mistletoe. So I know we were talking about Ken, it's his pride and joy, it's his creation, everything like that. But you are a producer. So you do have to have some sort of influence in all this. What can we do to get it, kind of like the podcast did? where they just got out of just being Christmas and explore different parts of the year. So we don't have to wait a whole year and we
No,
can get
wouldn't that be
more.
nice? I know it would be nice to get more. That we've all been asking for more, but that is a Hallmark decision. So we do not get to make those decisions. Like they'll give us six, and that's what they'll give us.
I think you just need to go ahead and say, I'm Sarah frickin' Drew.
That's not how it works.
What? What? I do not believe, do not lie to me. I do not
The
believe you.
money has to come from somewhere.
It is what I think, like I said, I think it is
I think
the
it could
best.
very easily be a whole year round show. I mean, especially with Christmas in July, her shop is a Christmas shop that's open
Right.
all year round. So even though it could still be Mistletoe Murders, but happening in the summer because it's under the mistletoe is the store. There's lots of ways to make it work. But yeah, it's all an interesting puzzle piece
Now,
figuring out where to put things on a
have
network.
have you tried in one of your calls with Hallmark saying, excuse me, do you know who I am? Maybe you just
That will
maybe you're just
never be
missing it, and
that
they're
will
like,
never be a sentence that comes out of my mouth.
but maybe if you just dropped it, they'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, here you go, 18.
Wouldn't that be nice?
All right. Well, what is your favorite aspect of playing Emily?
I love her duality. I love that there is this whole other side to her that she doesn't show other people. I love that there's still some mystery about her story. I love that even though she has undergone some significant trauma in her life, she's relentlessly hopeful and positive and I what I always like to say about the show, which is what I feel is the ultimate drive for her is that she's searching for home. She just wants to find a place to call home because her home was stripped from her when she was really young, and it's been this longing. She's had this longing in her heart to find that place that she can call home, that she can find a chosen family and settle and build a life. And I think that is a universal desire for people to feel, even if they have a home. I think there's still this longing to feel like they are that they belong in a really deep and profound way with a community. And so I love that about her drive and her journey. Yeah, I love getting to do the fight sequences. It's super fun.
I will give you another little kudos. It's pretty much once again, see, I will go around saying you are freaking Sarah Drew and you deserve the universe. But in season three, there is one where you start out. I think it may just be where the whole episode starts, but you're running. One of my pet peeves is when actors are running and they literally do not have an athletic bone in their body and it shows, and you are athletic. So
Well, thank you. But also, Melanie Orr, our director, had to give me some direction. She's like, "You look like you're prancing with your hands. So can you just keep your fists close to your body?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to prance."
what is mistletoe? So, but
So, yeah,
seriously,
prancer, yeah. You
what?
have to, it's good to have sharp eyeballs on you when you're working so that people can help you look
Well,
good.
no, there you go. See, there's just how good of an actor you are. If you are a prancer when you run, you came across there looking like you are training for your 10K right
Look
there.
at
So
that. Well,
you
good.
nailed it. Nailed it. And like I say, I'm a runner, so I know and I can judge. So you really got it there. All right. So you said what your favorite part of playing Emily is, but how is Emily like you?
I think she is again relentlessly hopeful. That is a piece of who I am for sure. I love Christmas. I wouldn't own a store for Christmas. I don't think I'd ever want to work in retail, if I'm being honest. But I do love Christmas very, very, very much. I think I have like a deep desire to connect with people, and we see her, at least she's starting to allow that to happen in her life and in her world. She fights for people that she cares about, that for people that are often falsely accused. She wants justice, you know. So I think all those ways are I'm pretty similar to her.
Well, we talked about it before. There's the cruise that you're about to go on. How about next year? Hallmark goes real big budget and they turn Mistletoe 26 into Murder at Sea.
Murder at sea, like
Well,
a big
mistletoe, like,
murder
yeah,
mystery
yeah,
everybody
y-
has to solve on the ship. Like a
yeah,
big murder mystery party. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I agree. I
We've
think so.
hosted some
I,
murder mystery parties. My son wanted to do a murder mystery party for his, was it 11th birthday party? We did a like whole pirate themed situation. And then last year he did a whole live action role play Dungeons and Dragons scavenger hunt adventure where everybody played characters and stuff. So yeah, we have some experience with that kind of thing. It's pretty fun.
well, I've been talking to some people behind the scenes. Michelle, one of the other producers, Sierra, who plays Violet, and everyone's been saying that season three lives up and exceeds season two. Or excuse me, season two lives up to season one. I've only seen, like I say, the three episodes. But from what I have seen, and I was nervous going into it because season one was just literally so good that could it do it? And from what I've seen, you totally have nailed it. Were you nervous when it was okay, it's coming to two? We set such a high bar. Are we
Yes.
going to be able to
Yeah.
maintain?
I remember for that whole first week shooting, I remember talking to my fellow actors and Michelle and Ken and Melanie, our director, about I didn't anticipate feeling such jitters on our first couple days shooting, especially since our first scene back was like takes place immediately after he asks the question in season one, "Who are you really?" So we pick up right in that scene. And of course, we'd been apart from it for months and months and months. And I felt so much pressure to live up to this expectation for sure, for the audience to be satisfied with the story and to kind of jump back into Emily's skin and feel like we're getting into our flow again, you know. And it was funny because all of us felt the same way. We were just like, ah, I hope everybody still likes it. I hope we can live up to the hype. But we realized very like by halfway through that first shooting day, Mel looks at both me and Peter. She's like, we're in our flow. We're here. We got this. We're back at it. You know. So and it's so easy because we love this community so much. The crew is so wonderful. The cast is so wonderful. It's like coming home, you know, to jump back in to Fletcher's Grove. But the scripts also, and it all starts with the really good scripts. And Ken just delivered the most incredible script. So I just there's nothing he can't do, and we just dive in and have a lot of fun.
Now, I should probably know this, but did she direct the first season too?
So Melanie directed
Okay.
episode 5 and 6.
Okay. Which
So
was everybody's favorite
I loved
episode.
yeah,
So,
I loved 5 and 6. I just the it's such a fun like Scooby-Doo crew. I just had so much fun with that one. The scavenger hunt of it all was really fun. Uh, but yeah, Melanie actually directed 1 and 2 and 5 and 6 for us for season two. We
okay.
love Mel. Yeah.
Well, we talked about how you look athletic, apparently acting athletic, which you prance when you run, but we'll forget about that. But Emily's kind of more, I don't want to say girl next door, but she, you got your curly hair going, this, that, and the other. But there is a scene where, wow, you get this, you pull out your stray hair in that blue dress.
Yes,
That
the
blue
blue
dress is going to get some chatter. That was
dress.
that fun getting to sort of do like we said about the two sides of Emily. That's a whole third side where we
Yes.
really don't see. And
It was so fun. I know, yeah. And it's so fun because we're at the stage in the Sam Emily relationship where there's still some tension between the two of them, but they're warming up to each other. And so having this like wow moment for both of them was really, really fun to play also. But yeah, it's always fun to get dressed up. I any chance I have to to show another side of Emily, I get so excited about, because that for me feels like the most human. I don't want to play the same thing. I don't want to play the same five notes all the time. I want to give you lots of different pieces of this human experience. And you'll see also my favorite. I get to do the flashbacks in episodes 5 and 6,
But
and
don't rub it in that I haven't got
I
to see.
look
Mean,
I
mean.
am a completely different person in episodes 5 and 6 in the flashbacks, and it's very, very cool and very fun. Like the look, the energy, the vibe, like so different. That was probably my favorite. One of my
I,
favorite days to shoot was doing those flashbacks.
wow. All right, now you have me just even. I was already frustrated. Now there's a
Sorry,
oh,
you're just gonna have to wait a couple weeks,
I know.
like
It's
the
I've been
rest of
waiting
everyone.
weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, we normally don't get to get the dress in mysteries, right? That's the rom-com thing with the ending and the big dress and all that. Was there like a lot of, I don't want to, not debate, but was like getting that perfect dress? Because it is a damn perfect dress, I have to say. Was
Thank
there like a
you.
big like thing to find that
No,
dress or
I think all of the moments of fancy for the whole season, because there's also a bit of a fancy moment in the final two episodes also, but also Violet's fancy in the second
she
episode.
didn't tell me, oh, Sarah.
What? In the second
She
episode,
hasn't told me she got all fancy, so now I'm gonna have
you saw it. You saw episode 1 and 2.
oh wait, we went with
Violet,
the right,
the
right. No, you're
dance.
talking about the dance. Right. Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. Yes,
There
yes.
was a lot of discussion about
Yes.
that dress, about what she was going to wear to the dress, to the. So I think there's always a lot of discussion about, how do we communicate, and how much level of fancy can we get with these characters, and what is the most appropriate, what makes the most sense. Especially given, like, what is the action in the scenes that we're going to shoot, like how can I be fancy but also move my body.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of discussion, many dresses tried on for sure. But I love that. Yeah, I love that blue one. It's really nice.
Hey, you're right. I forgot about the yes. She looks gorgeous there. Speaking of Violet, was there like some little bit of nervous because she does play a teenager fantastically
Oh, she's
well
brilliant. Yeah.
and looks, I mean, totally looks like a teenager, but we have a lot of times where somebody looks like a teenager, then they leave for a little bit and all of a sudden they're like, look like a 28-year-old trying to be a teenager, but she still does it. Was there like a little bit of nervousness of like, oh no, are we going to be able to keep this
Never,
character?
never, because she's always shown up so perfectly as Violet. Like she has teenager mannerisms that she pulls out, the way that she moves her body, the way that she talks with her shoulders and her hands, and the way that she communicates with her voice. And I there's such a sweet, open-hearted vulnerability to her that exists, and will, I think, exist in her life no matter what age she is, because it's just she's so open-hearted, and that's what draws you in. She really does have this kind of magical quality on screen where you lean in, because you're just like, oh, Violet, I love
Yes,
you.
I know she's my favorite character in both the podcast and nothing against you, but I
No,
just
she's
love
the
her character in both. And the strange thing is, and I meant to tell Ken this. I told Michelle, it's amazing how well Ken, being, I don't know what he is, I'll just say he's a 55-year-old dude, can write teenager.
best. Oh, he's
It
so great.
doesn't seem like some, 55-year-old dude writing teenager. Like just the little ways, because it can be so easy to overdo,
Oh,
but he
for
just
sure.
nails it perfectly in both
Well,
the
and
podcast and the show.
he has a teenager. Well, she just graduated, but he's got kids, so he knows, his son, his older son, I think just graduated college, and then younger daughter just left for college. So he's very much in that world, I think, and that's for sure helpful.
I guarantee my kids would not say I've got cool lingo when I try to drop it and everything. So, all right. Well, So you've been in other Hallmark movies, and some of them are the ones that I very much like. Like Branching Out is I love that one. Guiding Emily, love it, and everything like that. But is it different when you're on this one? And not to diminish those ones, but is there just
Oh,
something
yeah.
that's like just
I
different?
think my heart gravitates toward doing TV series because you just have much more time to breathe. You have much more time to tell a more human story. You get to watch a character really grow and change and evolve. You get to peel back multiple layers of someone's life and experience. And also for the actor, it's really fun because I don't. I don't know how many seasons we'll do of this show. I don't know where Emily is going to go, but there requires some trust on my part to just put my hands kind of put my character's life in the hands of Ken and just be like, okay, where are we going? And there's something really lovely about being surprised every episode, reading something new. You know, when you do a movie that's 90 minutes long, there's only so much story you can tell. There's only so much character development you can dive into, and you have beginning, middle, and end right in front of you. You know where you're going. Nothing is a surprise, you know. So I really do love being a part of the TV experience.
So one of the things we kind of alluded to before is we get backstory in season two. We get little hints, but we get definitely a lot more, including some flashbacks to your early years, which you do not play yourself
Yeah,
as at that there. But was it kind of like interesting seeing just teenage Emily and the actor who plays you and all of that? Was how fun was that?
we had so much fun and we hung out together. We did a really fun exercise with our younger selves and with our director at the beginning, both of our directors for the season at the beginning of the show, where we did like some actory games and we sketched each other. And we had so much fun doing it. It was this really sweet. We found ourselves sort of adopt. She kind of adopted some of my mannerisms, and we have similar laughs and smiles and things like that. So seeing her when she had all of her hair done and was like fully in character, I was like, whoa! It was kind of uncanny. It was
Oh,
really
really?
fun.
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
ask. So, because
yeah.
she
I got to
does
be
look
on
like
set.
you, I think they did
I
a good
got to.
job.
Yeah, I got to be on set for her first day shooting. So I was sitting behind the monitor and I was hanging out with her and just chatting with her, and I just wanted to be available to her and just have my presence there with her, and we had such a great time. She's so talented.
Uh, we said we're not going to do any spoilers, and we've done some hints. But what is it about season two that's just going to have fans' heads exploding like they did in season one? Like, what about
Um,
this is so great?
the I think the final couple scenes again of episode 6 are going to be pretty explosive. Um, Especially the final scene. You're gonna just be like, wait, what? What's gonna happen? And I think honestly, people love Sam and Emily so much. And this season, I said it earlier today, but I think that it's just the relationship is so much richer in season 2 because they're not just getting to know each other. We now know each other entering into season 2, but there's stuff between us that we have to navigate. So even when we're fighting, there's spiciness to it because they clearly are attracted to each other, but they can't get past this giant barrier. And we get to watch these two kind of let their walls come down a bit with one another in a way that feels really honest and beautiful. So I think the audience is, especially for the fans that really love the romance aspect, they're gonna love this season.
It's really tough too, having to try to pretend like you're attracted to Peter because he's such an
Oh,
unhandsome fellow, right?
yeah, it's just so painful.
Yes, it's funny. All the comments, I get all these comments in when I do posts, and people are like, I would just watch him like sit in a chair doing nothing. He is
Just also
definitely appreciated.
as lovely as he is to watch.
Oh, he was a blast
He's
talking to.
also just so funny. So funny. He has us all laughing from morning to evening, all day, every day, comes in with the most positive attitude. He's such a fantastic leader on set. I just like he's become such a good friend, and we really get to lead this thing together, and it feels it's just a happy set. And it wouldn't be if I was working with someone who was like really super into being super actory. I don't know. I think
Well,
there's
no, I
sometimes.
mean, to say there's obviously very historic examples of that, not to be too whatever trying to pull in drama, but Castle is a show that very famously could not exist because the leads just didn't get along.
Oh, I
So
didn't even know. I did an episode of Castle and they seemed to really enjoy one another, but that was I was episode 3, I think, season 1. So it
yes,
was
I
right.
remember that.
But yeah, I think there it makes a huge difference when you really enjoy your acting partner, when you really like just have a grand old time every day you're at work. Because anytime you have a scene that's challenging or you have a situation that's challenging, you just diffuse it for each other, and then you just go, okay, well we can lean on one another. And luckily for us, the show is run so well and so smoothly and in such a beautiful, organized, collaborative way that we there haven't been many any real hardships. I mean, minus I did shatter my hand during the final 2 episodes and had to be in a cast for the last
Wait, this season?
yes.
That's ironic considering last
I
season
know, the
you
same
acted
hand
it.
too. I was wearing a real cast on the same left hand as I was wearing a fake cast at the end of
Oh,
last
well,
season.
there's the behind the scenes story that we just needed to know. Wow.
Yes, that was so crazy. So I had to shoot the last 10 days of the season. Well, it was like 6 full shooting days that I still had to shoot. But I broke it in the middle of the final block, which was episode 5 and 6. So we'd shot half of both 5 and 6. So there's like a scene where I'm walking up to this restaurant and I have both hands working, and then I'm walking into a kitchen and only one hand works. Then I walk down a hallway and 2 hands are working.
Okay, so we have to keep an
You
eye
had
out
to
for
look
that.
out for that. Yeah. It was amazing though. The crew rose to the occasion. Melanie Orr like absolutely steered the ship in the most incredible way. Everybody was so wonderful. I broke it at lunch, like right before lunch, doing a scene, and I was back on set shooting the next morning at 8 a.m. And they hid my cast as best they could. We blocked around it. And I had all the women on the show came over and we did a packing party because I couldn't pack to go home. And then Peter, who found out that he was on the same flight as me, immediately called production, was like, have the driver pick me up first at my apartment, then come to Sarah so I can help get all of her stuff down and I'll just help her travel the whole way home to LA. So like just the outpouring of love and support in the midst of that thing that was so crazy was so epic that I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd break it all over again.
All right. Well, on that note, what else do you have? You're obviously going on the cruise, but anything else? You said you were just in Ireland filming. So can you say what that project was?
So yeah, it's called Jimmy, and it's a biopic about Jimmy Stewart.
All right.
Yeah, it
That's right.
takes place over several years, starting when he won his first Academy Award, and then it goes into his journey as he fights in World War II, in the Air Force, and then comes back. And the final movement of the movie is when he is making It's a Wonderful Life. So it's a really beautiful, very internal story about Jimmy's wrestling with his sense of identity and who he's supposed to be in the world, and what he's supposed to do for the world, how he's supposed to use his life. And it's really beautiful. KJ Apa is incredible as Jimmy, like just absolutely incredible. Jason Alexander stars in it also. Chris McDonald. It's a really fantastic and fun cast. We had a great time, and I got to play this amazing, iconic gossip columnist named Hedda Hopper, who is known for these wild hats that she always wore. So
When is that supposed to come out?
next fall, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're
This
welcome.
Friday, finally, the wait is over. We get to see
Season
season 2.
2.
Some of us, lucky, have seen it and still be watching it again. And I just cannot wait for everyone. It's been interesting too because a lot of people, because it was on Plus before, hadn't been able to
Yeah, or
see
they're
it,
just encountering it for the
and so
first
they're
time.
seeing for season 1, which I'm like, such old news. But so everyone though
Well,
will get to
and
see
we
season
want to
2.
encourage everyone to watch live, or at least in the first couple days, like on the channel, because ratings really do matter in terms of getting a season 3. So yeah, watch and then write, comment, you know, get
I
the word out.
I'm not sure I could do more
No,
posts
you're honestly,
about
your
this one.
posts are the best. I always retweet them because they're hilariously funny and so good and so much fun. So yeah, keep doing
Like I
them.
say, it is my favorite. That and Round are the two I think are literally completely next level. Forget
Oh,
Hallmark World; they are just next level great programs. So
thank you. I appreciate that. It's always so good to talk to you.
thank you, Sarah. It's been fantastic, and I can't wait for everyone to get to experience what we've gotten to so far. It is amazing.
Awesome.
Have a good day.
Yay. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.